I would say we tend not to be a very hippo-driven company. Shane, our CEO, often has strong opinions very loosely held, and I have explained to him why we're not going to do the thing he likes on a few occasions, and he was like, "Ah, yeah, that makes sense." Uh, I would say generally, when we look at our success, we're usually looking at I would say in the micro, we're often looking at our sort of core experience metrics. So we, for all of our events, have two kind of ways that we track outcomes of that. One are direct customer feedback. So we essentially have like a survey after all of our experiences. We have a pretty good response rate on that, and we're exploring some ways now to even increase that response rate. But we use that as our sort of metric, both for evaluating the sort of core event interaction. But we find that it also correlates with other aspects around the experience, like the registration process, which is more of a product piece. Um, the other thing we do is we keep track of operational metrics. So we have a whole operations organization that kind of runs event operations behind the scenes. So they're not necessarily on camera very much, but they are sort of making sure the host shows up on time. They're making sure nobody's blocked from getting in. They're making sure everybody has the join link and things like that. And when things go wrong operationally, they actually track that pretty rigorously. And so we're able to use that to sort of figure out where, not just where things are sort of heuristically biggest pain points, but also where things are in practice causing large problems. And also where some things that we could invest in are not a huge problem in practice. For example, we were dealing with an issue the other day around, with increase in privacy settings in browsers, a lot of our like automatic geolocation matching has gotten a little less accurate. So there are some cases where we've had people sign up for events only to learn that they're actually not based in the US and we actually can't ship certain items to them. That has happened a small enough number of times that it's not a huge priority, but we can actually track that. And when it does happen more than, I think it's happened maybe once, that we can actually start to see if that's becoming a problem that we need to make more serious product investment. I'd say probably wrapped up in that particular example is there's a trade-off there, not just in terms of product investments, but also in terms of customer privacy. That we try to not follow the playbook of a lot of tech companies that just sort of hoard as much data as possible about customers and figure out how to operationalize it later. Generally speaking, we certainly do collect information about our customers, and most of the ways we do that are by asking them. And the reason we collect that data is not to target ads to them. It's so that we can design experiences and customize experiences that will help them drive a sense of connection. And knowing things about how a team currently works is a really necessary input to create that sense of magic. But we don't like to collect information that we're not going to operationalize or we don't have to. And so, geographic information is one of those where, in cases where we do ship things to people, we collect it when we need to, but we don't just sort of we want to be cognizant of how much sort of like request and how much information we're asking of users.